Good afternoon, sports fans. It's your friendly neighborhood Paul here, bringing you the next episode of Nostalgia on the Rocks, where myself and my co-host talk about the games of old, the games of new, and everything in between. And today I'm joined by my ride or die, the man who's always... Oliver's sick. Oliver's sick. That's what it is. But don't have no fear because Joe is here. The one and only Joe Medforce back at it again for part 2. How you doing today, Joe?
I am fantastic. I'm excited. There's a lot going on. I'm sure we'll jump into it. And I'm so glad to be here for the first ever part 2 of Nostalgia on the Rocks because I just can't stop talking.
It's the first ever part 2. It's the first one where we've had to do a solo host. So this isn't the first. This is the first two-man show because we did our very first one was a two-man show, and then our live production was a two-man show. But this is the first time where one of us wasn't there, and it's just it happens. It be like that sometimes, but it's okay. It's okay.
And as many jokes as we'll end up making for those who were here for the pre-show know, Oliver, feel better soon. We do love you and appreciate you. He is actually sick. Otherwise, he would be here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's I'm sure he's sick. I'm sure he's under the weather. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the pubs that are within walking distance of his home. I'm sure it has nothing to do with hanging out with people. I'm absolutely sure that it is simply a seasonal cold that he's just feeling under the weather. I'm sure it has no other contributing factors.
Yeah.
Leave it all thinking up. Yeah, it couldn't be.
Couldn't be. Yeah,
couldn't be. All right, so we're gonna start off as we always do with what's that, Oliver? Joe, what is in your glass today, my man?
So we'll move on to something else later because I learned from last time. I learned to have more beer than just the one. We're starting off with some toast. Here's to change, which is a very nice, easy drinking golden pale, as you can see from the glass, which contains it. And yeah, it's apparently so basically this is brewed with surplus bread. So like bread that doesn't get used, the yeast from the bread, and profits go to charities fixing the food system. So it's a really ecologically friendly brew. It tastes great, and it makes you feel good while you're drinking it. I know. I did not purchase it. It was in the family fridge. I gotta be honest.
So you don't care about it, but somebody in the Medforce household.
I very much care about it, but I also am almost certain that it was on an offer. Like if it's on an offer in the supermarket, Medforce family is like, yeah, sure, it's a pale ale, let's go. You know,
that'll work.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's a solid beer. It's good.
Yeah, and so for me today, I could pull out one of my bottles that I normally have. But this is, as of recording this, we are in October 1st, which is the first day, obviously, of the spooky season. But more importantly for me, it is a reminder to wake up Green Day, because September has ended. Which also means that Stack Up September has ended. And we raised what can only be classified as a fucking lot of money. You crazy asses. You meme lords not only raised a bunch of money. Not only did you do that, but you made sure the end number was $6,969.
Pretty nice.
And 69 cents, you fucks. You fucking meme lords. Like, what the fuck? So there is an individual, the influencer relations manager for Stack Up, Perky Daisy. Lovely individual. She was in the stream yesterday because I did one last big stream, which was supposed to be like 6 hours, which turned into 12, but I digress. We sat there and she kind of popped in and we were talking all this stuff and we're doing this. And then as soon as like we started tiptoeing towards 69.69, I feel like she's like, what the hell who is this clown and why are we associate? Why did we let him put our logo on Hawaiian shirts that he now owns or on these challenge coins? Like, what the hell? And so because of this, we're celebrating. Now, normally I don't bust these bottles out. These bottles are kind of limited runs. They're pretty expensive, and they sit in my little globe back here. Whoop.
Banana.
So I'll have you know, this bottle was already previously opened, but this bottle was opened for a Christmas that I had with some of the in-laws' families. They had graciously invited us out to their home. They have like this very nice place. It's, you know, kind of out in the country, but it's, you know, they bougie. That's all I'm gonna say. They bougie. And so I had this bottle, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bust it out there because they're all, you know, her uncle is he's a big alcohol guy. He loves his alcohol, that kind of stuff. So we have here the Glenfiddich Age of Discovery red wine cask finish, 19 year.
It's nice.
Oh yeah, I've had this for a hot minute. Now I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna do the flip.
Squeaky just like it was last time.
Well, that's the thing. I found out if I flip the bottle, I can get the cork wet, so when I do the twist, it'll do the little squeak.
So good.
God. All right, we're gonna pour this up here.
Yeah.
I normally don't pour it up here, but
beautiful.
Look at the beautiful color. And unfortunately, this bottle is running low. But at the same time, you know, alcohol is meant to be drank. Like, I can't even see through the bottle. Like, it's such a dark bottle.
Yeah, that is an opaque container.
But yeah, it is very nice. You know, you do the little swish around the glass, kind of let it breathe a little. Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans around the world, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I want to thank you for everything that you guys did for Stack Up September. And I'm glad you guys could be here with us tonight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Cheers.
Yes. And I will just very quickly take it back to mine because it's not nearly as delightful, but the can says toast to change on it. I won't change my focus, but it says toast to change, and that is what you and this entire community has done over the past month, man. The money that you have raised for Stack Up is going to truly change the lives of troops, and those care packages are going to make their lives better, make you know, serving better for them, and then the support that they receive through the help that Stack Up offers as well in terms of their mental health is so vital. So I said it to you earlier on, and I'll say it again. Like, you should be so proud of what you've done. You're incredible, fantastic work, man.
Yeah, it's been wild. It's been crazy, and like I said, I got it. I'm beside myself still, just because of how ridiculous it is. But you know, that's a topic for another time. That's a topic for another show where I can get emotional. Somebody's gonna start cutting onions here soon, and I can't be having that. All right,
we will pick up on ridiculous. I know that. I like it.
We'll pick up on it. But of course, so we've had our glasses. Joe, what have you been playing the last few weeks? I know, you know, 2 weeks ago we kind of talked briefly about some stuff. What have you been playing since then?
So much the same. You know, I'm always on my Fall Guys. I'm often on my Fortnite. Dip back into Mario Kart with the community this past Monday. Always a fun time. Nintendo needs to get their... Well, no, people need to stop buying Mario Kart. If you're here and you have already bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and on Switch, just tell everyone to stop buying it, because then we might get a new Mario Kart game or an update in the future, because people keep buying this goddamn game, and I feel like everyone has it at this point, and we're never going to get new tracks or a new game if people keep putting money in their pockets for the old one. But yeah, tons of fun. And I also jumped back in because since we last spoke on the first part of Nostalgia on Rocks avec moi, we had a Nintendo Direct, and to lead up to that, I played some Smash Brothers. I did. Well, our good friend Reaper's Past was live streaming some like jump. It was a game called Jump King, and he was messing up the jump part. I was live at the same time because I was about to like the Nintendo Direct was happening, and Billy the Door, another mutual friend of ours, stirred up some shit. He was like, he sent a clip where it was just like, Reaper, wants to take on the Fall Guys King or whatever, and he didn't. And the clip from Reaper wasn't even that like, it wasn't meant to antagonize. It was not. Yeah. It was just I can't even jump. I'm better at falling, I guess. But then I clipped it back because I was live. I wasn't going to watch the clip, or I didn't end up getting around to it. I was like, oh, you know what? We're playing Smash Bros right now, and you ain't here. And Reaper loves himself some Smash, so we had a classic like tete-a-tete. And of course, and he was like, I will clap them cheeks. That's his new favorite thing to say. And of course he came through and he completely destroyed me, but it was loads of fun. And mostly I've wanted to get back into that because I thought we were going to have the Smash reveal at the Direct, but we didn't. We had the teaser, which is for the actual final Smash Ultimate DLC Fighter reveal happening. Well, if you're watching this live, next Tuesday, the 5th of October. If this goes up before then, it might already have happened. Who knows? But yeah, mostly just on my Nintendo, my bullshit, on my colorful games. I did a whole bit with a Fabio Sparkle main in Fortnite and had some fun as well.
Oh God, I remember seeing that. Oh
one of the new characters for this new season. I was like, I'm gonna fit one more costume in.
Horse is a fucking horse.
Well, actually, he's a unicorn.
Does he have wings?
Uh-huh.
He has wings. He's not a fucking unicorn.
He does. He does have wings because
no. If he has wings, then he's not a fucking unicorn.
Oh, he's a Pegasus.
if he's got a horn and wings, he ain't a Pegasus either. He's some other fucking thing. I don't know. I can't. There's a brony out there who would fucking correct you right now. I just know that it's not it. Because I remember hearing some shit. Because it's the same way that you have people like start breaking down like in D&D, like this is a dragon, this is a wyvern, this is a serpent, this is a this is like if it's got 4 legs and wings, it's a dragon. If it's got 2 legs and wings, it's a this. If it's got it's like I don't know. It's a big scaly boy. I don't know. All right, I just know that it's gonna hurt me and I need to kill it. All right, I don't need to break down what it is.
Well, when he's in the air, he has wings because they come out of his jacket. Like sequin wings, like shiny silver sequin wings that come out of his jacket as a glider, and then we've got the unicorn horn is always there. So I think he's a unicorn. But
all right, we'll say unicorn with possible wings.
You're wrong. Us in the comments.
It seems it's alicorn. Alicorn, according to Brony expert Adam, Brony gamer Adam, Brony Adam.
Alicorn, there we go. Well, yeah, whatever the hell an alicorn is, but yeah, I've been playing as that, cosplaying as that, and just the standard fun and shenanigans, mostly multiplayer focused, and not really been getting into much deeper because I've had a lot going on, as we'll also get into.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play Fortnite for the first time and. A while.
Make sure you update the game because it's gonna take a while.
You know why? It's not downloaded. That game, I deleted that game off everything years ago. Like I don't have that game downloaded or anything, so I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to download Fortnite. Oh, I hate.
You're gonna have to remember. It might not remember your login.
And that's the thing. It's like even if it does remember. My last character I had, I think, was Viking themed, which was like,
oh yeah, that's a time ago. Yeah, they did those. That was before
they blew the world up. That was before the black hole ate everything. So my account may not exist anymore. It's that bad. And so
But
I have to boot up, and originally it was supposed to be a 6-hour stream, but long and short, I got bullied by chat, and it was either eat a bunch of stuff right before the end of a 24-hour stream, or bump up the Fortnite stream from 6 to 12 hours. So I bumped it up to 12 hours. So we'll be playing Fortnite 12 goddamn hours.
Well, as long as I'm free, I can't necessarily guarantee a commitment for 12 entire hours. But just know that you will have the fabulous, sparkly company of Funky Fabio Sparklemane in your squad.
Oh my god! Oh,
I'm not gonna put it on because it messes up my hair, and I like my hair the way it is.
You know what? I can respect that. I can respect that.
I felt like it was gonna come up, so it had to be done.
Here's the thing, right? There are 3 possibilities of things that can happen there. First, and probably what's gonna happen more than likely, is I'm gonna talk shit on that game for 12 hours. Most likely scenario there, right? Second scenario, I turn out to be decent at the game, even though I haven't played it in a while. Like, I turn out to be like, oh, fuck, why am I good at this? God damn it, why do I have to be good at this? Or 3, and hopefully the least likely, I start enjoying the game.
I think you're gonna go through all of these stages.
I think we're gonna start with talking shit. I'm gonna start getting better, because after 12 hours, you would hope I would get better at the game. And then if I had to start liking at like the 11-hour mark, I'm gonna be mad at myself. I'm gonna have to like put the helmet of shame. Not even the helmet of shame, but I'm gonna have to put the helmet on, like, hello, darkness, just to hide from it. Like, no.
Question though, do you have a Nintendo Switch like Pro controller or equivalent, or do you just have the Joy-Con for your Switch?
I had like a Super Nintendo controller that I used to use as a Pro controller. But no, I don't have like a proper Pro controller. I got these now, which are like off-brand Joy-Cons.
Oh, that's some Amazon Marketplace.
Oh yeah, this was somebody sent me a link to these because I have to do a Pokemon Shiny hunt, and I was like, one of my Joy-Cons, one of the I got stick drift on one of them. And then so they were like, oh yeah, use these because they also have like this the bulky backside.
Yeah.
So when you slide them on,
they don't look half bad.
Yeah. And so I was just like, all right, cool. And I was like, I use these. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel anywhere near as good as the PlayStation or the superior Xbox controller.
Mm-hmm.
But it does feel a shitload better than the fucking I'm trying to hold the little Joy-Cons individually.
Yeah. Well, basically, all I'll say is, and obviously, depending on who you're squadding up with, that's going to change the matchmaking in Fortnite. I have Fortnite on my Xbox. I don't really play on an Xbox anymore because it's just so much easier to win on Switch and it's so much more fun and I don't even care. I don't care. And, and you get a Pro controller and the graphics aren't quite as good as they'll be on Xbox or PC.
But it's also Fortnite. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I get it.
Yes, no one's like looking to snipe someone from 1,000 miles away. This ain't your freaking Apex or Call of Duty. Like, you don't have to worry about it. You're just gonna have fun and shenanigans, and it might help bring the
it'll make the ease of entry. Yeah. Like, let me tell you this much: I sure as shit ain't downloading that on PC. As much as I'd love to do a cranking 90s and like trying to build a fucking mansion in 3 seconds, that ain't happening.
Nah. You can just be stubborn like me and only build when it's absolutely necessary.
My building is gonna be wall, roof, wall, roof, wall, roof, wall, roof, or better yet, what I did back in the day before Apex and all the good games came out. I would be a cheeky little bastard and get like where I think the ring would be. I would build into a cliffside, floor, wall, hide, floor above me, and just vibe. I got so many top 15 finishes with a gray shotgun just sitting underneath.
That's next level bush camping. That's
That was camping. That was like, because that was the thing. Like somebody would break in the roof, and because I would put a roof on it, I would put stairs, the floor, and then I would just be underneath the floor, like on that on that little slant. And so somebody would come up and they would, if they didn't blow up the floor or those bottom two little pieces of the wall, you're not seeing me. And so it was like, they would just go in there, they would shoot that, and I would just be like, okay. And I would just be like this with the shotgun, like, don't open this floor. Don't open this floor. And it was.
I will say that's a tactic I've never seen. So
that's a season like 2 or 3 tactic. That tactic has been.
You've got to revisit it when you get into this stream, though. You have to.
That's gonna be because obviously I've got people coming out the woodworks wanting to come in and play, because obviously like people love Fortnite, and I have no. If you love Fortnite, you love Fortnite. If you love the game, you love the game. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that you have poor taste. The internet does that enough. I'm just not. God damn it. This is I'm not like, that's the thing, right? If people enjoy the game, I'm gonna let them enjoy the game. But the game is just, it's just not my thing. Yeah, and so I'm gonna boot it up and I'm gonna play it. And when we're done, if I end up playing it again in the future, who knows? Will I fucking delete it immediately afterwards? Will that be how that stream ends, with me deleting the game? Probably.
Yeah, that's the last shot of it in the 12
that is absolutely like 12 hours. As soon as that game is done, delete
the
confirm.
game you're in.
Literally, just like we're like top 3. It's like I got the squad with me, and I just like boop. Oh, what happened? Oh man, I don't know. The game just crashed. Man, my Switch is so. Oh man. Oh, the game deleted itself. Oh no. The power of Nintendo Switch. And with that being said, sports fans, like, just bounce out. Just bounce out.
You're done. No. But yeah, what have you been playing, man?
I have been playing. Well, first off, been playing a lot of Destiny 2. Completed my first raid on technically Monday. First raid ever. Did the Vault of Glass. Had a ragtag bunch of individuals shepherding me through. Because originally when I pitched this, or when it was when I was talking to people about it, I was like, all right, it's going to be like 5 people who know what they're doing and me. It was 3 people who didn't know what they were doing and 3 people who did. And then...
Seems like a good balance to me.
Yeah, except... You got to be a power level of 1300. I was like 1303. The other guy who kind of hopped in with us, who was kind of in the chat on a previous stream, was like 1300-ish, or like a little under, like 1299. Then we had another guy who was like 1275, 1280. Oh no. That man, anytime a boss phase started, that man was down. That man was down instantly. Every time.
So for the genuine, as we established previously, never even picked up the Destiny, is the power level that crucial? Like, your power level really indicates how well you can perform in that kind of a specific raid, because they recommend a power level. Is that
so pretty much. So whenever you're doing so for most of the stuff, like, it's just kind of like when you're out in the open world, it's going to be like whatever power level you are, like the enemies are going to be whatever, right? So that's why you have people that are like super high level. It's kind of like if you ever seen WoW or any sort of MMO like that, when you're OP as shit and then you go into like an open world area that the enemies are kind of whatever, like you can just kind of mow through them with no issue. But then when you start hitting the raids, it's like all of the enemies are scaled up to a certain level. So all the enemies are bumped up to the power level of 1300. So if you're not there, they're gonna punch you in the face. And they're not gonna. And so if you're, so that's why they had that recommended light level there. So you could run it at a lower level. Sure, it's gonna fucking suck. Like, you're gonna have a bad time. Case in point, the man that we were running with, who is just, it was just unfortunately just too low a light level and just kind of kept getting punched in the face. But
it's a bad time.
So we end up getting about halfway through it. Our lowest light level guy ends up tagging out with somebody, because this has been going on for, I think the entire raid took us 6 hours. So I think we were probably about 3 hours in at that point. So he tags out. We end up getting to the last part, and the other individual who kind of came in from chat, and the other individual who kind of came in from chat, the guy just could not focus. And what I mean by not focus, I mean we would say some shit. Now bear in mind, I'm exhausted because at this point we're like 17 hours into the stream, give or take, like probably a little under that, but we're like 17 hours deep into the stream.
And this was a 24-hour stream.
This was a 24-hour stream, yeah. So we're like 17 hours into the stream at this point. So I'm a little groggy, but I'm still like, I'm connecting most of the dots here. Like, they're like, all right, so we're going to do this. We got to go here, shoot this thing. These dudes are going to pop up. We got to wipe them, and then we do this, and then like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I got Avenged, I got Jabber, I got Flame of Hell. I got all these people who are like running me through what we're doing. And this other kid is just not getting it. He's just not, he's shooting at the thing. He's shooting at the wrong stuff. It's like, yeah, when we spawn, we're going to go to the left or to the right. Just focus on the ads on that side. Don't focus on the guys on the other side. They will not come over here unless you engage with them. What's he do? All right, we're going right. He goes right. He shoots at the things to the left. They start engaging. So now they got to deal with both the ads. It's like, fuck. Like
he's not even Jabroni, he's Jabroni Junior.
Yeah, he's just like, it's just like he can't get into Weenie Hut. He's got to go to Weenie Hut Junior. That's what it is. And so so eventually he's like, oh, I'm just tired. I'm really tired. Da da da. And we're like, cool. It was like, yeah, do you have somebody you can like swap me out with? Because I feel bad. I was like, yeah, man, we'll find somebody. We'll find somebody. We get him out. We get another person in, and then we end up finishing it. And so we finished that raid. And I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2. I'm enjoying it still. Like, I need to start doing more of the story stuff because I've just been kind of running through and just power leveling up. So now I'm just like, in the Crucible. Well, let me rephrase this. My power level is, my gameplay is, but I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2. I played through Halo 3 ODST on stream for the charity stuff. So, God, that game. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. I love the story of that game. But fuck, Legendary is difficult. And fuck, Legendary start putting skulls on.
Legendary in most any Halo game, you can just reach these bottlenecks where you even if you're running it solo or with a friend, and your friend knows what he's doing and there's no noise doing it's. You just start getting spanked. And then the problem is also, because the games are older, even in the Master Chief Collection, the checkpoints are not forgiving. So you end up having to go back and do this whole section again. And it's like, oh, God. Why? And also, I don't know if ODST is the case. The autosaves sometimes pick and choose where they're going to trigger. And so you can reach a checkpoint and be clean and ready to go after a big fight, but sometimes that doesn't work out, and you'll be
checkpointed. You'll be checkpointed in a real awkward spot. And so what had happened was I was at one of those choke points where it was, if you played the game, it was when you're essentially trying to blow up this building. That's the point of this game. So you're trying to secure the building, but like the Covenant are running up at you. So you're just trying to get in there, blow up the building, and then bounce the fuck out, right? Like that's the game plan at this point. However, you are continuously backing up, going up the hill. They don't trigger the next thing until you take out a certain amount of people. It was at this point where the chat had redeemed Lasso. For anyone who doesn't know what Lasso means, that is Legendary, all skulls on. Skulls in Halo are modifiers that make the game go from difficult to fuck my life why. Like where the enemies do more damage, the enemies don't run away, they throw more grenades. Any gun that you pick up off the ground has half as much ammo. You only get health back if you melee somebody. It's just all of these things were just on another level of fuck. And it was at that. Oh, and you can't see your gun. That's another one. You can't. Your HUD completely gone. That existed. Everything is gone on your HUD. It is a blank screen. Do you know how you tell what gun you have? Either by shooting it or looking at your shadow and knowing what the guns look like.
Do you even have a reticule for the top?
So some of the guns, obviously, like for the Magnum, the carbines, all that kind of stuff, you can zoom in, and you just kind of have to ballpark the middle of the screen I saw some people. So like, there are some people who like do lasso runs, and they will take something and stick it on the center of their screen, so that way they know where the reticle is all the time. So they'll just like they'll start it off. They'll start normal, put a little piece of tape or like a little da on their screen, so that way they know where the reticle is supposed to be. Then they'll kick all the lasso on, and then they run it. I didn't do that. I was just kind of guessing by the middle of the screen. But the worst part about it is, the worst skull in all of it is, there's a skull called Iron. I believe it's the Iron one. Iron says that when you're playing with a squad, when one person dies, you go back to the checkpoint. When you're playing it solo, you start the mission over.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
needless to say, we decided, and by we decided, I mean I bought out. I matched the donation for Lasso, so I didn't have to do Lasso. Because fucking hell, I got stuck there for like a solid hour. And like at the beginning portion, like I wasn't even knee deep in the back. Like I didn't even make it through like the first part. Like you run through, you hit all the stuff, you blow up the bridge, you got to fight a little bit, and then you move back in there. I barely made it past that, and I'm like, okay, there's still like 3 other checkpoints plus bugs, plus I got to fight on the rooftop against a chieftain. I got nothing. I got nothing. And so
I'm bad enough at games I love as it is. I couldn't. So more power to you, man. Putting the onus on the chat to get you to that point.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fucking hell. And then I've been playing a metric fuck ton of Apex Legends. Because I've been missing that battle royale feel. I haven't been playing Call of Duty because obviously Blizzard Activision, what the fuck? Well,
Precisely.
Blizzard, what the fuck?
Yep. No.
And so I was like, and so I've been kind of playing a little bit of Apex. I've been getting better at that. I've been running some of the competitive stuff with a couple of the streamers, Risky Lifey, Horrorstone, Superdog. Having fun. Not great at the game, but having fun, and that's the important part. And yeah, that's been my life recently. It's just like, all right, what do I want to do? Well, I'll run through, do the weeklies in Destiny 2. All right, now what?
Yeah.
We do some Apex.
We
do some Apex.
Actually,
Apex.
and on that note, I do need to mention, and I know you didn't get into it, so I won't harp on about it. But I forgot that I got my first taste of Halo Infinite this past week as well.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I got in that flight last weekend, and I'm going to try to squeeze in some time for the big team battle this weekend, if you're watching this live. And damn, I have such nostalgia for running Halo multiplayer on PC and Halo 2, and just being around at friends' houses on their Xbox 360s, because I didn't have one back in the day, and their original Xboxes for the original Halo. And hot damn, I did a stream like on a Sunday night, which I like rarely do these days, and a handful of people showed up. I jumped in with my best friend who I grew up playing Halo with, talk about nostalgia. He was game, I was game. We got 4 wins in a row. Like I went crazy with a grav hammer. I cut an MC Hammer bit about it, put it up on the TikTok, and it was just it. And then I jumped in with, as aforementioned in the pre-show, Rumble Pack. And Al Bob, our friend, came in as well alongside Aaron Roots, and it's
Al Bob, friend of the show.
Friend of the show for sure. We love Alec, and oh my god, I forgot how much when it's right, and I think 343 are nailing it finally with this with Infinite, especially for the multiplayer. Obviously, we can't speak for the single player as of yet, but I'm so excited for this to be a full multiplayer release, free to play for everyone on PC and Xbox when it comes out December 8th, the multiplayer component. So even if you're not sold on Halo Infinite and run through as Chief in the single player, you can jump in, and they're doing great stuff with, with a lot of these like more modern shooters. I feel like the battle passes they leave a bit to be desired for me personally in terms of cosmetics and things. Fortnite, it's like, oh my god, if you're into it, there's a whole Marvel season, there's a greatest crossover in the world, whatever. But the fact that they are doing something unprecedented with their multiplayer, where they will be not locking battle passes behind time, you can pick up any battle pass at any time that they have to that point in the game, and you can put your XP in whatever battle pass you want. So there's never going to be that FOMO if you missed out on the season 1 like samurai Spartan armor or whatever they end up doing. They are really making it player and consumer friendly, and it's even on the launch Xbox One, I feel like, or very soon after launch, old VCR style Xbox One that my friend gave me. He there you go. Yeah, oh my god, it's sitting in the back there by the globe.
Yeah, you guys can't see it, but it's you kind of can't. That guy is sitting right there.
Yeah, the dark shadow next to the globe.
Shadow is literally my Xbox One that was like, it's a year 1 Xbox One.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. I use it as a doorstop right now. When I need to keep the dog out of my office, I will close the door. I will put the Xbox there to stop the dog from coming in.
And hell, the Lord knows the dog's not going to get past it. So, but for me, I'm not a frames guy. I don't care about 4K, 60 frames per second for shooters. Even I had a blast with it. There were not really any performance issues apart from a couple of little technical hiccups getting into the games. But I'm psyched for December, and maybe I can squeeze some in this weekend as well. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can to play a little bit, because I messed up and I thought I had submitted to be a part of the flight. Turns out I did not. It was one of those things that I had like kind of bookmarked to do and never did. So I tried to throw in for it and see if I could squeeze in there a quick turnaround on it. Nope, nothing. So I was like, so I'll be trying to jump in this weekend, kind of get a little bit of playtime, because I loved Halo 4, but what I loved about Halo 4 was the Spartan Ops. If you know,
those were always a good time in the I never really played them in 4.
So
they were great.
The Spartan Ops in 4 was your own fire team. They had cinematics cut with I'm blanking on her name, but the tall female Spartan with the white armor. I think it's Palmer, I want to say, but I also feel like I'm wrong. Commander Palmer, regardless. But Commander Palmer, and it was her leading her being in charge of the Spartan fire teams, and all the cinematics were of this other fire team that you were playing with, or running missions alongside of, but it was just you and your fire team. So you and 3 of your other buddies running these missions, and it was oh, they were still continuing the story of Halo, continuing these stories, but they're not centered around Master Chief, which I thought was dope. And then we got 5.
Oh, the thing is, the idea on paper, the idea of 5 is actually really quite solid, and I like that seed of an idea, but the execution just wasn't there,
because it wasn't what they talked about, what they pitched with the live action cinematics. By the way, live action fucking commercials pitched
with freaking Luke Cage
was hey, we got Master Chief is going rogue and doing his own thing, and so he's dealing with the UNSC's kind of shit, and then you have somebody else who's having to go after a war hero. Cool. Not really what was happening. Kind of. Whereas Chief was well, I'm going to get Cortana. You can't go get Cortana. Fuck you, I'm going to get Cortana. If you do that, you're going AWOL. Cool. I'm the master. I'm Master Chief. Spartan 117. Maybe you heard of me. No offense, I don't care. And so then of course, you have all the other Spartans, because I think Master Chief's a Spartan 2. I'm trying to remember my shit correctly. So he's a Spartan 2. The Spartans and Spartan Reach were Spartan 3s. And I think all the Spartans in that one are Spartan 4s, if I'm not mistaken. because they had to like
I'm not all the way in on
they had to like essentially they had to dilute it because like the Spartan 2s were like they kidnapped them and they started training them as kids to like deal with like all the shit to like not snap their hands when they're like open up their hands all the way and shit like that. So they're like they're that level. The Spartan 3s were like diluted, but they were still augmented a bit. So the Spartan 3s were like I said, everything from Halo Reach if you played that game. And then I want to say the newer ones are Spartan 4s, which were Buck, who was in ODST, which is great. Turns out
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, Nathan fucking Fillion. There's a great book that kind of ties those two together, like how he makes that jump for that jump. Really good read. But yeah, so it's like you have like so it's like 2 generations after the fact of Spartans, of a team of Spartans going after Master Chief and his squad, like OG squad, which I was like, where the fuck have these guys and gals been this whole fucking time? Because like that would have been dope to see, but I guess obviously Bungie and all that, it was like, well, you know, they're spread out. They're like fucking these dudes. You put them in a team, they're gonna get the job done, but you got to spread them out to kind of help take care of all the other like Covenant.
And also the original Halo, especially, really had parts of it that focused on that it was Master Chief and Cortana's journey, you know, them against the Flood, that sort of like horror light angle of isolation, which I think back in the day still, and to be honest, I still like it a lot. Like it's still
terrifying.
hard.
That still sucks. That's still like fuck, go away.
Yeah. We're being overwhelmed by these monsters that we've never seen before, like all of it, and you know, you're alone. You're the last man standing, kind of thing. John McClane almost. Hey, John 117. Yep. Yeah, but it's they almost had it, and from what we've seen, what little we've seen still really of the actual, you know, Halo Infinite single player story, I think they should stick the landing. I'm really cautiously optimistic and hopeful for it.
Yeah, I would say I'm gonna play it. I'd be lying if I said I'm not. Like I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna have
it's getting played. It's Halo. Like the Halo's coming back, baby. It's gotta be played.
It's gotta be played. But yeah, so that this is why I was like, man, we can't have a hard out this today. We've been talking for an hour. Instead of talking about Waluigi and Nintendo bullshit, we've now been talking about Halo, which I'm much more well versed in.
Hell yeah. No, I got to bring in whatever I can take to a first person shooter conversation. It's like Destiny, Apex, played a bit, fun, but still, and it's like, oh wait, I played a real first person.
Halo, I know this one. I played
a first person shooter. I played it.
God damn it. All right, so we are gonna get into the topic of the show, and the topic of the show is something that both of us thrive in. I would say, I would very much say that we thrive in this kind of stuff, and so. The burning question is keeping the hype going. And what I mean by that is for a lot of people who, you know, maybe only see Joe's content or only watch my content or just kind of stumbled across this way, is keeping that kind of energy and that level of like, just that like, oh my goodness, like, you know, I don't believe it, you know, kind of stuff. And like, how do you keep that, as I think as you put it, just it's not obnoxious positivity.
It's ridiculous positive passion.
Ridiculous positive passion, or ridiculous positivity, as I'm going to just refer to it the rest of the show.
Sure. You're good.
But it is, you know, like how do you keep that going? How do you keep that rolling when maybe you're not necessarily 100% feeling it that day, or maybe it's just the stream's not doing as well as you would want it to do?
Yeah, and so you wanna kick it to me?
Yeah, you are the guest, so I'm gonna let you take your first swing at it.
I often feel the pressure that I put on myself more than anything else to be that, to keep it smiling so much from the very first week of streams that I did, where I had you know, a kid from Australia tell me that like I helped make his day better through my stream. And it was like I was like doing casual like Sunday morning Animal Crossing streams at the time. Like I wasn't in my final form yet, you know. I wasn't all of everything that you
You
see.
weren't being a Nintendo shill just yet.
No, I was just trying to, you know, deal with quarantine as best we could. But it is something that, and people have asked me, and I think I've fielded this on either previous podcasts or just in general conversation before. It's not a mask. I don't feel it's ever a you know, like I have to put this face on and be happy and smiley when actually I'm not feeling it. It breaks down to sometimes, and we'll just start at the kind of the bottom of it. If you're really not feeling it, if you commit to a regular thing where you try to be entertaining, you try to bring positivity and happiness to people, it's okay if you have a really bad weekday, you know, hour before you stream. If something goes wrong and you can't get back up from it, call it off. Do not go, you know, sometimes it was, I think we talked about it earlier on very briefly as well. Sometimes you hit that go live button and the switch goes on and everything's better. Even if you've had a bad day at work or whatever, it's like you're ready to put that behind you and have some fun, play some games, sing some songs in my case, put on some costumes maybe, and do some shenanigans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's not always going to be the case. And I don't, you know, always focus on it, but I deal with anxiety and depression. Mental health problems are real for me. I am a little bit kind of cyclothymic, which is a big word to basically say my highs are really bloody high, but I can go real low, and that can happen when I wake up the next day, and can stick with me for a few days, or you know, or change in the matter of a, you know, a Nintendo Direct announcement, because that's the kind of person I am, like legitimately, and it's going to go up and down like that, and especially with streaming, because streaming is, I think, and not, this isn't necessarily talked about enough. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter how many people on average usually tune in for your streams. Sometimes you're going to hit that go live button, and you know, it might just be a day where like people don't end up tuning in as much as they would. They might not give as much as you want to give. The first time I put on a whole outfit based around this dumb bloody Fortnite character that's a fucking unicorn with this horrifying mask that I painted to be that color. Like I spent a Sunday like putting some face paint all over that shit. The first Monday I did that, we had some fun and people were like here for it, and it was like, oh god, the horror, but also this is kind of funny. That Monday night that I did it, I had a real bad like self-doubt moment after I went offline. I was feeling so low. I was started comparing myself to other people, which you should never do because everyone grows in their own time, and it's difficult to bounce back from that sometimes. But essentially, what I sit with and look back on is the fact that this is something I've thought about ever since before I ever started streaming, making videos, or anything. I did lots of like amateur dramatics back in the day at school, musical theater, that kind of thing. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter if you're actually like up there saying lines that someone said before, singing a song that someone said before. When you get on that stage, when you play that part, because really it is a performance. There's no one, no matter how much honesty people try and profess on screen, and I do want to have an honest connection with people. I'm honest about when I'm feeling bad. If I've had a bad day, if people in chat pop in first at the start of a stream and say, "How are you?" and I will tell them if I've had a bad day. I will say, you know, we're shaking off. Or if it's really rough, we might start out with an honest conversation about it. We might, you know, go into that, and you know, I'll make sure that it's always an open space where people can say how they're feeling, even if it's negative. It's not about positivity trying to like steamroll everything else. But actually, when you hit that go live button and you sit in front of the camera to do whatever the hell you do, you're the only person in the world who can do that. The only person in the world among, whatever it is, 7 billion other people. You are your own person. You've got your own thing. And even if you're doing it for an audience of 1, it doesn't even matter if it ever gets to 100. Like, if it's something you enjoy and it motivates you and keeps you going, I know sure as hell, if I didn't love this, if it wasn't something I wanted to do for the past 8 years of my life, in some capacity, and I've finally gotten into it with streaming and making content the way I do, and I'm still figuring it out. Let's be honest, no one knows what the hell they're doing. I wouldn't be doing it, and that's a whole lot of words about how I can keep it going. You will find it, and also it's okay if it's not for you. It's okay if actually you try it and it doesn't click, and there's something else for you out there as well. It's the hype may not be your calling.
Well, because that's also like one of those things is like the way I feel like there's a lot of people that will come in, and especially like because like Facebook now has like Facebook gaming because they bought out Mixer, so like I'll be on Facebook and I'll be like God forbid I click on a video on Facebook because then immediately after that is a Facebook gaming thing, and it never fails. It is somebody who is it feels like I've seen them before, though I have never seen this person before. It's because a lot of streamers, and I'll say I'll be upfront saying this, I fall in the same category. A lot of us might have a similar cadence, a similar tone, a similar way about going about doing things. And that's that that standard YouTube thing is what used to be the joke where it's like, hey, what's going on, everybody? Today in Minecraft, we're gonna go do this. Yeah, make sure
boy.
It's your guy, gaming fun times. And today we're gonna make a redstone launcher. So what we're gonna do first is, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit like and throw up a comment on what you like to do with redstone. Yeah. It's just that level of like, oh God, really? Like that's what you want to do? And the bad thing is though, there's a reason why that all happened. There's a reason why so many people sound like that is because at some point somebody did it and it worked. And it worked, so therefore people start copying it and all this other stuff. And so that's where you end up getting a lot of people who try to be positive but are obviously faking positivity.
Yeah, I think it is easy for it to seem and feel disingenuous and inauthentic. There is a fine line that you sort of have to straddle, and I would say you do yourself a disservice by saying I fall under that. That is not you, and it never will be you, because you and I both have a spiel. We both have when someone raids, when when a hype train starts, or when we feel like it's time to actually do the thing which, oh God, the shame of it all, self-promote. It's like, who else is going to do? No one else is going to do it for you. We have supportive people. It's incredible. Retweets and shares and raids and all of this stuff is fantastic. But when it comes down to it, this is a train which you run. You might get to a point later in life where you have, people who help you shovel the coal in, but the steam is yours and you generate it, and you have to be that. And it's not, and it doesn't happen through anyone else really. It's when it comes down to it, it's yours.
Yeah, and what I meant by when I said like there's we a lot of us have a similar thing is like you will find people who have a similar style. I'm not saying that everybody's they're gonna sound the same, or they're gonna be just like you. It's
True.
more of a
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like anytime you go to like a rock concert where it's like, or like a music festival. You're like, you might be there for like band A, but then as you're there, well, band B has a similar style, so I like them, and like band C's singer sounds kind of like band A's singer, so I'm gonna like them. And that's kind of what can happen on Twitch, where it's like not
Mhm.
necessarily a perfect copy 1-to-1, but it is something like, okay, well, they have little bits that I like, they have bits that I like. And whenever you're doing this, and this is kind of where that whole you can do things that are original, you can do things that are new, and you can reinvent things. But be aware that there are, like, some of the stuff that you're doing, there are people who have done similar things.
You will not even know.
You're not reinventing your as much, like there's some nonsense thing about, like, when it comes to writing, it's like there are no more original ideas. There are, but at the same time, you might come up with something and think it's the funniest fucking thing. And there's going to be somebody else who comes up with a similar thing in a completely different bubble, in a completely, other thing, who then have a similar idea to what you have. Now, whether or not your circles cross over, that's one thing. If they happen to hit at the same time, crazy. But
example, I did Jesus Christ, this is going so deep into internet memery, like bullshit, like no harm, no foul if you decide to switch off now. So, on TikTok, a song ended up getting popular. It was a parody of the Kanye West Estelle track American Boy. And it was a Fortnite parody that someone had posted on YouTube years earlier called Chug Jug With You, where it was like, take me to your PC to play Fortnite today. No, we just wiped out Tomato Town. Number one victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down.
Yes, please stop. Please stop. I got you. Don't put it in my fucking brain.
You know it, and now everyone else does too. I discovered that. I was like, oh, I play Fortnite, maybe I could do something. But then I was like, oh, what if I take that parody of that song and do Fall Guys for it? I hadn't seen anyone else doing it. When I searched it, I didn't find anything, and I made my own 1 minute chorus parody only. I posted it, and then immediately, near enough in the Twitter comments, Fall Guys ended up retweeting it, which was crazy. Full song when, and so I ended up making a full version of it later. But someone, unbeknownst to me, on YouTube had done their own version of it already, and there was some lyric similarities, and I was like, I don't know, it's not going to turn to any bloody controversy, but I was like, I did not genuinely hear this, but it's awesome that we, great minds think alike, right? Because you're 100% right. Someone is going to do it without you even knowing. You're gonna end up doing those similar things.
Mm-hmm. You heard it here first, sports fans. Joe Medforce steals content from lowly YouTubers and promotes it on his Twitch and Twitter.
Steal your song, bish.
I was gonna say, he's gonna have a ya bish, but it's just gonna be Waluigi doing it.
I almost got a spit take. I almost got it. It was so close. He's like, it's too good. I can't spit it out. It's too good. It's too old. It's 19-year-old whiskey.
This scotch is too good to come out of my mouth and or nose. That was a good one, though. You almost got me. You almost got me on that. Motherfucker. But yeah, so, for me, keeping the hype going, right? Keeping that, ridiculous, positive, palpable potency of positivity. Nope, I was using every other word other than passion. I was like, he's gonna want me to say passion. I'm not using it.
I'm gonna do every plosive I know.
I'm gonna use every verbiage or vernacular of a word that I can throw in here. But yeah, so for me, keeping that kind of stuff going has changed and has evolved over time. I used to do. Anybody who watched year 1.5, pretty much all to 2020, or for a good portion of 2020, 2020, we'll just call it FNH 2020. We'll call that one. I used to drink a lot on stream. A lot. There were, I had shot emotes. I was doing shots for all the gifted subs, 500 bits, $5 donations, yada, 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 right? All that stuff. I eventually got to the point where I had to pump the brakes on it, because I was working with somebody for something that never ended up coming to be, which is kind of upsetting, but it happens. Um, but I was working with somebody and they were like, "Hey, we need some clips from your past stuff, like things that would kind of describe your channel." And I was like, "Cool, no problem." I went back, I started digging through my clips, and I was like, "Okay, I've got some Call of Duty stuff, I've got some of this stuff, I've got some of this." And there were some that I really liked, or I thought was like, "Oh yeah, I remember these being really funny." Cutting aside mic quality, video quality of things that have obviously been upgraded and updated, my ass is drunk as shit. And I'm sitting in my chair like this, eyes squinted, like, fuck you, you fucker. You got, oh, really? All you have are draw fours, huh? All you have are draw fours. Weird. Fucking weird. Like, doing that, and then, like, Party Animal. Perfect example, right? I would love nothing more than to have Party Animal clips to, like, throw at old fucking Robert Highwind. Every time I'm drunk as shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
shh, shh, shh. They don't know I'm here. Paul, where the fuck are you, son of a bitch, you're hiding up there? And it's just like, oh shit. And of course at the time it's funny and like the stream enjoys it, but at the same time, like me looking back on it, trying to then use this to promote my channel.
In an even semi-pro capacity, it's like you don't want to put it out there, right?
Yeah, because it's not a great look. It's not a great look.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I did a stream which is thankfully, like, I think now lost to time, right? But I had been out like day drinking with friends, and I had the stream scheduled. I was doing like it was like I was either doing like Just Dance on Saturdays or Twitch Sings, and or a bit of both.
Yeah.
Back when Twitch Sings was a thing, and
Yeah.
I ended up going on way later than I planned because, of course, I'd stayed out drinking with friends and having a good time. And when you're that drunk, you're not going to sing good. It's a bad time. And I felt bad while I was doing it. I felt bad afterwards. It was not the one. And again, even it's okay even if you have something scheduled. It's like if your day takes a different turn and you end up having some fun with some friends and getting a bit drunk, whatever the fuck, just don't go live. If you're that source, don't do it. And yeah, I used to, just primarily as a coping mechanism to help get through COVID, I drank way more on stream than I do now.
Oh, yeah.
I limit myself now because my streams are in the evening, so I do use it as a bit of a relaxation thing. But I also know that it's not a necessity like it was for me in those early days because I started streaming during quarantine. Like,
yeah. And I think that's kind of what it boiled down to. Is I had a very real moment where I was like looking at what I was like, how much I was spending on it, the amount of the amount of content that I was putting out that was just me drinking, and I was like, okay, well, if I want this to grow, if I want this to be a thing, I don't want it. Having alcohol associated with, I mean, it's nostalgia on the rocks, right? Like there's booze there. Having alcohol sort of associated with me, sure. Could that hurt me with a brand deal? Sure. As soon as one starts knocking at the door, then we'll move over to fucking sparkling.
But believe it or not, I don't think you're going after that Nintendo ambassador program. Like, I think you're gonna be fine.
Nah. They don't want me there. I talk so much shit on fucking Mario games. It's not even funny.
No, it's true, exactly. And but it's something you have to take a look at in terms of what fuels you. There's a great Hank Green video about the fuel you burn that keeps you going, right? And it's like you can run on fuel that is bad for you. You can run on if you have negative reactions to something or feedback, you can run on that fuel, but it is gonna burn bright, and it is that kind of like anger, that aggravation, that
spite.
Spite, the intensity. It's gonna burn white hot. Like, even I had a video the other week where like a troll came into the chat, and I happened to like have like, for me, what is you said I think previously, it's like, oh, I would have talked so much more shit. Like I would have rung him through the ringer. But for the way for my brand of it, it's like, oh, I actually had like a good still like kind of family friendly, but like come back in terms of like, no, you don't belong here, get out.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't want to. I don't, if that happened more often, it's not going to be good to sustain. It's not sustainable because you are going to crash on that sooner than you realize.
Yeah, and with the whole thing, because obviously we're just gonna keep kind of hitting the same points. But yeah, just kind of wrap it up with a pretty bow. The biggest thing with this and like how to keep it going is you're gonna find your own. Find your own kind of voice, find your own kind of stuff. You can, like I kind of touched on a little bit earlier. You can model it off other people. There is, if the VOD still existed, there is a brief stint of time where my shit sounded damn near like Snowbike Mike. 1,000%. I'd be lying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. That shit. I damn near had everything other than the sapphire blue picturesque Lake Tahoe. Like it was at that level to where it was like I almost got hit with a copyright strike. Like that was the level. That was the level of plagiarism that I was tiptoeing on when I was first coming together. But now obviously I've got my own little shtick, and I take little bits of I'd be lying. I'd take little bits and pieces from other streamers that I see that, it's like, oh, I really like how they did this. Maybe I could incorporate it. Obviously, just being like, oh, he said this, I'm gonna say it exactly the same. Now, if you start, like, oh yeah, I'm ridiculous positive passion over here, that's what we're all about over here on FNHPaul. Joe would then come for me. Now, that being said, Joe, if I see you wearing a goddamn Hawaiian shirt again without putting, like, without some asterisk or something, FNHPaul, like without a cosplay tag in the fucking thing, we're gonna have some fucking words. All right. The mustache.
I can't help it that multiple people look good in Hawaiian shirts, man. I can't help it.
Look, it's bad enough that I gotta deal with fucking Robo's ass. All right. I know roughly where you.
That ship has sailed. He's doing his pattern shirt thing. He may not have flowers on it, but there's fruit,
Yeah, I was gonna say he can run that. I'll fight him. I don't give a shit. I will fight.
No, you're gonna file that Californian lawsuit.
Yeah.
I will say before we do wrap up this topic of the show, I would be remiss to not thank and mention, as you did, Snowbike Mike, because I think it is important to find people who inspire you. Snowbike Mike has been a huge inspiration and support to me over the past year. If I was American, I might end up being Snowbike Mike, just less into sports. Like there's similarities there, which sometimes are probably a little too close for comfort. But the fact of the matter is, when I was down last Monday after a stream, I was up. I went to bed, woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and he was streaming some freaking gas station simulator. And I don't often do it because I know that he's going to be given the nuggets, as he goes. But I did the hype timeout speech. I was like, I need this, man. Like, I've not been feeling great. And Pete, I had tweeted out that I wasn't feeling great as well. Which I try not to do too often because I don't want it to, first of all, genuinely, I don't want to ever burden anyone with how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
but you also
same coin on that one.
Mm-hmm, precisely. And people had come at me with so much hate, so much like, you are a piece of that they'd been really sweet and really kind and said some really nice things and DM me and stuff like that and responded. But part of the reason why Mike has been so important to me over this past year is the fact that he knew exactly what to say without even knowing what I was going through. He was like, sometimes you're too inside of it, you're too in the forest. Take a step back, take a look back at what you've accomplished. The friends you've made, the journey you've been on, what you've done. You're out there trying to be, positive, trying to entertain, trying to do your thing in Fall Guys, or you are Travis Touchdown, you are bada. And I really think that finding, it's not about copy paste. Don't do that. Don't be that person.
Oh yeah.
It's about finding, like you said, finding your own path through it, because you will find it if this is something you really want to do. It takes time. Sometimes it takes almost a freaking decade. You see bands who start out. You look at Wikipedia pages. Unless it's an overnight success, which is few and far between, most bands are together for a good decade before they get their major record label deal, or they find their audience, they find their fan base. Like, this stuff takes time creatively, and just to know that. Also, to see someone who has done what I think, would want to do. It's not about becoming a part of the kind of funny team or joining IGN or whatever, but blazing their own trail from being a fan of something to becoming, hypecaster master, xcast host, kind of funny, stream, pro that he is. That's really important as well, because it gives you something to shoot for, even if your path is going to be different, and you're going to have your own goals and hopefully hit those along the way. It's really something to have someone who you feel, especially someone you can connect to personally. Like, I hope one day me and you and Mike can sit down and have a few drinks, play some games,
Yeah.
Get the Triforce together. Get the freaking Triforce of hype.
I don't know if that's the Triforce of hype. I don't know. That would be... that room would be too ridiculous, because, like, I've seen Mike lose it. And so then I feel like it's just going to be you being really happy, and then Mike losing his shit, and then me going a step beyond that, because I'm not one to back down. Like, the amount of times where, like, I made the joke at the pre-show about the glove coming off. Like, when the glove comes off, it's off. Like, it's off. Until I hear a fucking bell, like, I'm going, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like that would be a good time. But I mean, we're talking about, like, inspirations and all that stuff. Like, for you had, stuff like Mike. I started streaming before the pandemic, so I started streaming 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was MC Fixer. Period.
Yeah.
Not. I met him at a kind of funny meetup for the 2018 RTX, because that was the last one they did in London. So I met him there at a kind of funny meetup where I met Greg, met Tim, met Andy, and then also Cameron Cuff, fucking Superman, met him, or no, not Superman, sorry. It's one of the L's. It's his granddad. I can't remember what his name now.
Yeah. I cannot remember, but he's
Kal-El Jor-El. I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah.
Regardless, Superman's grandpa. I met Cameron Koff. I got to meet him there, which was wild. But I got to really, like, I sat there and I kind of had a chat with him afterwards. Obviously, everybody's lining up to talk to the the kind of funny guys. And so we're sitting in there, we're talking, and this me and Adela were there, and I think Adela she had recently just got out of radio. She was like, "Oh, well, I kind of want to do what you want to do." And he was like, "Do it, just do it. Like, whatever." And so I started following him on Twitter. I was subbed to Kind of Funny on Twitch for like a solid year before I was actually watching them on Twitch. I was one of those, like, oh yeah, I'll make a Twitch account, sub, and I never fucking thought about it again. Which is why I've got like however many months in a row. But it was 2019 or 2018 into 2019, New Year's Eve. I jumped into Fix's stream because he tweeted about it. I was like, oh, I'll watch him. Like, why not, right? And that's when I kind of became part of, like, Fixer's kind of group or like fan base. And I think I started streaming like 3 months later after that. After talking to him about it, I was like, I think I could do this. I don't know if I could do it as a job, as a full time, but at least like as a hobby, as something to do, right? And so I'm still using the same fucking capture card that I bought because I tried upgrading to an Elgato and it fucked with my stuff. So I said, fuck that, and go back to the one that I know works and I know can do the job. So it's like, I've got that, and I do all these other little things, and everything works. Everything's fine. And it is still one of those things that I started because of him. I still run with it, and I still will like kind of see all the things that he's doing, and that's like fucking wild to think about.
Hell yeah.
With all the successes that he's had recently with becoming partner and doing all this other stuff. But it is one of those things that, yeah, like I took, you know, little you kind of learn from the people around you. So, you know, I learned a little bit from him, learned a little bit from Mike, learned a little bit from like even I'm So Brown guy who, you know, another lovely individual. Like yeah, there was like bits and pieces that I just saw the stuff that he was doing. I was like, oh, this is dope. And then, you know, like between the scene transitions and everything else, like it's just fucking wild. But yeah, we're before people start cutting onions, like, you know, the whole thing was like how you keep the hype going. You use what you got around you. You use what you enjoy, because that's at the end of the day. At the end of the day, if you enjoy what you're doing, then the rest will come. The rest will come. And if it doesn't, you know, streaming's not for everybody. People think streaming's easy because, oh, you're just playing games. It's playing games, it's talking, it's being entertaining, it's being able to play a game while talking to the chat while also making sure that every single sound thing is still working properly.
It is capital W work. It is fun, yes, at the best of times, but it is also work. I, you know, looked at I did like a reflection, like take a look back, kind of a little stream yesterday. I might turn it into something for the YouTube or whatever. I have sat in this chair in this exact scene for 950 hours. 950 hours, and I'm sure for you, in some capacity, it's even more. Your Twitch tracker's going to tell you.
I need to see this now.
Exactly.
God damn it.
Yeah,
now I gotta look.
Go to Twitch tracker and check the all-time stats. And so it's like, I'm almost at 1,000 hours here. And like, that is no mean feat. And that is not including all the time that I've put into editing videos, filming other videos in this chair, which haven't gone live to Twitch. All of it, like, that's easily over 1,000 hours in 18 months. In 18 months, that's like over 1,000 hours, which is huge.
I forgot the screen locked up there. Screen locked up there for a second.
You're good. I can, because I did it yesterday. I can bring it.
No, no, I've got it up. I put something up over Discord, and so it just didn't like that. It didn't like that.
It did not like it.
It froze. It froze for a second.
You're good, pal. You're good. Don't worry about it. These things happen. These things happen. Technical issues.
Technical issues happen, but Adam was freaking out about it, so I had to.
He was like, "Ooh."
He's like, "Guys, audio's still working, but I can't see him anymore, guys." So, as of yesterday, take a ballpark guess.
Dude, I looked. I'm sorry. I looked. I feel bad now. I can't. To be honest, this is probably around what I would have guessed. So just give it to the people.
2,900 hours and 57 minutes.
Wait, where are you? According to what?
My channel analytics.
Oh, interesting. I checked the Twitch tracker.
Oh, what's the Twitch tracker have me at?
Okay, so the Twitch tracker has you at 2537. So that may not be accurate. Actually, that's a question. Yeah, where's my channel at?
Yeah, so like you just go to your streamer page or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
insights. Yeah, your channel analytics.
2,900 hours, according to this, is time streamed. There's a few of those that are just massive spikes in the time where it's just like, yep. It's like, oh yeah, there's the 24 hours. There's 24 hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, almost 3,000 hours, sports fans. Almost 3,000 hours since... When was the first one? Since February. Oh God, I gotta like move the cursor so slowly.
Yeah.
Since like February 15th. Whatever.
I think
since mid-February of 2019.
I imagine maybe Twitch tracker doesn't go back far enough, because for me, I'm at it's rounded it up for me on the Twitch tracker. On the analytics, I'm 994 and 57 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm basically 900. Wait, no, Jesus! Oh my God, that's way more. I thought it was 950. I'm a 6-hour stream away. No, actually, sorry, a 5-hour stream away from 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
In 516 days. 516 days, I've almost done 1,000 hours. Woo! Damn.
Yeah. I can see when I took leave. That's a funny thing. I'm looking at it and I can see when I took my vacations, because there's just like bricks of no jumps. I can see when I went when I was in Iraq. I can see that drop when I was gone there for that little bit of time.
That's so crazy.
Oh man.
It is wild to think about it. It is wild, isn't it? It's crazy.
I have no idea how to find Twitch Tracker.
Twitch Tracker.
No,
just Google Twitch Tracker and you'll find it.
Sorry. I looked at chat. I broke the rule of the podcast.
No, don't worry. You're good.
Sports fans around the world. I think we've beat this dead horse enough. I would like to thank Joe for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I know, we didn't get Oliver's input on this. I would assume how he keeps the hype going is just, well, you just do it, don't you? That's pretty much just what I imagine he would say there. I don't know. Do you have a better...
No. I imagine, and I thought of this just before we went live, and I was like, I've got to put it in. The other game that I've been playing is the greatest game of Tetris known to man, which is packing boxes, because this is the last time anyone will see this stream set up live. It's getting packed away tomorrow. I've been throwing stuff in boxes. There's a box behind me here. Yeah. A whole mess of stuff happening. And you know what? While he's sick, missing his parents at Tetris camp, missing C, we're thinking of you, probably, Oliver, with nostalgia.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us today. My glass is empty.
Mine is not, compared to last time.
I was going to say, you don't have the bottom parts of like 3 different beers.
No.
By the way, I don't know if you saw it. I definitely kept that face at the end. I normally cut it a lot sooner, but there's like another 3 seconds and you're like, oh.
Hell yes.
I was like, yep. If you had said shit, I would have cut it on accident, but I was like,
I'm going to go back for that. That would be funny.
Oh, is it like the last 10 seconds?
Yeah. Also, Big C, Mad Squirrel, great craft brews if you can get them in the UK. Mad Squirrel. That's what I'm on now. That's what I've changed over to.
Well, sports fans, thank you guys so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. So until next time, have a good one. Stay safe. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.
Cheers, and thank you for having me, Paul. You're the best, man.